How to be alone in a crowd. Dealing with loneliness is a universal challenge, but Stoic philosophy offers a practical guide to dealing with it, transforming what many see as a burden into an opportunity for personal growth. Let's delve into Stoic teachings and see how to apply them in everyday life. Loneliness is not simply being without company. It's a feeling of disconnection, of being apart from the world, even when surrounded by people. Stoicism invites us to observe this emotion rationally, without letting it drag us down. Imagine you are at a crowded party. The music is loud, the laughter, the bubbling conversations, but inside you feel like an outsider, an observer of a world to which you do not belong. This feeling of isolation, as Robin Williams said, can be even more painful than being physically alone. I used to think the worst thing in life was ending up alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is ending up with people who make you feel alone. The Stoics teach us that loneliness, like other emotions, is a perception. It is not the event itself, being alone or in a crowd, but our interpretation of that event that generates suffering. If we feel lonely, it is because we are assigning a negative value to that condition. In a hyper-connected world, time for oneself has become a rare luxury. The bombardment of information and the pressure of social media can make us feel even more isolated, as they create an illusion of constant connection that in reality often hides emptiness. The pandemic lockdowns, social isolation, and the growing dependence on technology have exacerbated this feeling. However, great leaders, artists, and thinkers throughout history have sought and valued solitude. They used it to recharge their batteries, foster creativity, and reflect deeply. Solitude, for the Stoics, can be a powerful tool for self-knowledge and personal development. One of the cornerstones of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. Some things are within our control, our actions, thoughts, judgments, and others are not other people's behavior, external events, the opinions of others. You feel lonely because your friends are busy and can't go out. You don't control their schedules. What do you control? Your reaction to this situation. Instead of complaining, you can decide to use this time to read a book, learn something new, or pursue a hobby. Solitude becomes an opportunity, not an imposition. The Stoics teach us to accept what cannot be changed, and even to love our fate, amor fati. This does not mean passive conformity, but an active acceptance of reality as it presents itself. You've moved to a new city and haven't made any friends yet. It's natural to feel lonely. Instead of resisting this feeling and clinging to the idea of how things should be, full of friends and a busy social life, embrace the current situation. Use this time to explore the city on your own, discover new places, and be open to new experiences that may arise naturally. Acceptance reduces internal resistance and pain. Stoic apatheia does not mean an absence of emotions, but rather immunity to passion in the sense of uncontrolled suffering. It is the ability to maintain inner calm regardless of external circumstances. You're at a family event and feel out of place, as if no one understands you. Instead of allowing yourself to be overcome by sadness or anger, practice internal withdrawal. Focus on your breathing. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Remember that you are the only person responsible for your peace of mind. You may be physically present, but mentally you can find a haven of calm within yourself. For the Stoics, virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance is the only true good. By focusing on cultivating our character, our happiness, and well-being, become independent of external factors, such as the company of others. You're at home, alone, and loneliness strikes. Instead of giving in to discouragement, ask yourself, how can I act virtuously in this moment? Perhaps you could use this time to practice temperance, avoiding excessive social media or food consumption. Wisdom, reading and learning, or justice, thinking about how you can be of service to others even from a distance. By focusing on virtue, solitude becomes a space for self-improvement. You feel lonely and wish you had more people around you. Instead of focusing on the absence, list 5 things you are grateful for right now. It could be the comfort of your home, your health, a good book, the opportunity to rest, or even the solitude that allows for reflection. Gratitude changes your perspective and lessens feelings of deprivation. While Stoicism focuses on our internal response, it doesn't prevent us from seeking connection. In fact, reason guides us to take action to improve our situation when it's within our control. If you're feeling lonely and longing for companionship, the Stoics would tell you to act rationally and virtuously to seek that connection. You realize that your loneliness is partly due to a lack of good companionship. Instead of waiting for people to show up, take the initiative. Join interest groups, book clubs, sports clubs, volunteering, reconnect with old friends, or be open to new friendships. Seek out people who share your values and who contribute to your well-being, acting with courage and prudence. Loneliness is a universal human experience. The Stoics do not see it as something to be feared or avoided at all costs, but rather as a part of life's experience that can be faced with resilience, wisdom, and inner peace. By applying these Stoic principles, you will not only cope better with loneliness, but you will also transform it into a powerful ally on your path to self-development. The word loneliness often carries a negative connotation in our society, being confused with social isolation, neediness, or even anti-socialism. However, Stoic philosophy invites us to re-evaluate this perception. For the Stoics, solitude is a voluntary state of withdrawal, sought for reflection, creativity, or relaxation. It's a precious time for self-discovery and personal growth, very different from loneliness, which is a painful feeling of disconnection. As Epictetus, one of the great Stoic teachers, suggests, when you are alone, you should call it tranquility and freedom, and think of yourself as the gods. And when you are with many, you should not call it crowd or trouble or restlessness, but festival and company, and accept it with contentment. This perspective teaches us to embrace both solitude and company, finding value in both experiences, and keeping our inner peace intact. Loneliness is often misunderstood in our society. Confused with isolation, neediness, or even antisocial behavior, it carries an unfair stigma. The digital age connects us to every corner of the globe, but paradoxically, it has also distanced us from ourselves. Incessant notifications and the constant search for external validation fragment our attention, making time for deep reflection increasingly rare. Yet it is precisely in this space of stillness that great minds, from ancient philosophers to modern thinkers, have found clarity and inspiration. Throughout history, the clarity and self-knowledge gained in solitude have been extolled by various traditions. Seneca, for example, saw time alone as essential for self-examination, away from the distorting mirror of public opinion. The idea is that by removing ourselves from external influences, we can connect with our inner reason and virtue. Imagine that you are about to make an important career decision, but all your colleagues and family members have different and conflicting opinions. Rather than getting carried away by the external hubbub, a Stoic would seek out a moment of solitude. This could be a walk in silence, sometime in the park, or simply turning off their phone and sitting in a quiet corner of their home. In this space, they would ask themselves, what is the most rational and virtuous action I can take, regardless of what others think? By focusing on their own values and principles, the decision becomes clearer and more aligned with their character, rather than with the expectations of others. From Christianity to Buddhism, solitary prayer and meditation are practices that aim to nurture ethical foundations independent of outside influences. Henry David Thoreau, in his experiment, Life in the Woods in Walden, elevated the deliberate art of being alone, demonstrating how solitude can lead to a deep connection with nature and the inner self. Buddha achieved enlightenment not through books or teachers, but through the inner awakening cultivated by solitary meditation. These examples show us that, for the wise, the deepest truths emerge from quiet spaces. If connecting with the solitary self has brought enlightenment for millennia, perhaps it is even more vital in today's digital distraction. The constant background hum of our culture leaves no room for the inner incubation that is crucial to creativity. Without intentional moments of silence, we risk sensory overload, which impedes the development of new ideas and insights. You're trying to solve a complex problem at work, but your mind is full of emails, social media notifications, and pending conversations. A Stoic would recognize that this overstimulation impedes clear thinking, so they would create a quiet haven, perhaps blocking out an hour in their calendar to work without distractions, turning off notifications, and resisting the temptation to check their phone. By allowing the mind to wander without external interruption, organic connections develop, and insights that were previously hidden can crystallize. It's crucial not to confuse solitude with loneliness. The former is a deliberate choice that generates understanding and self-sufficiency, while the latter causes suffering. Facing oneself without distractions builds maturity and resilience. Fruitful solitude is therefore an active session of self-talk, not a concession to isolation. As the Buddha reflected upon attaining solitary enlightenment, you, as much as anyone in the universe, deserve your love and affection. Integrating the frenetic pace of modern life with solitary renewal takes intention, but it brings abundant rewards. Schedule time for alone time as steadfastly as you would any professional commitment. Rather than, if I have time, I will meditate. A Stoic would schedule 15 minutes a day for meditation or journaling first thing in the morning. He would view this time as a non-negotiable commitment to his mental and spiritual well-being, resisting the temptation to trade it for a busy schedule. If someone were to ask, "Are you free at 7 a.m.?" and his answer would be, "No, I have an urgent commitment," referring to his solitary time. Take time out for yourself, like a walk or while doing household chores, to be alone with your thoughts. During your morning run or while washing the dishes, resist the temptation to put on headphones or turn on the radio. Use this time to observe your surroundings, process your thoughts, or simply enjoy the silence. This seemingly simple practice can reveal surprising insights and increase your self-discipline. Change your own perception and the perception of others about alone time. If a friend asks you out and you'd rather stay home and read or just relax, say with confidence, "I'm taking some time for myself today. It's important for my well-being." By talking openly about alone time as self-care and self-nurturing, you help counter the assumption that it's a sign of isolation or sadness, and you inspire others to seek out their own inner resilience. The fast pace of modern connectivity threatens to erode the fertile spaces for reflection and personal growth that enlightened thinkers have long extolled. By renewing the art of carving out solitary havens for clarity amid the dizzying digital marketplace, we set ourselves up to unleash our best selves, the versions of ourselves capable of the patience, creativity, and inner resilience needed to meet today's challenges. Remember, being alone doesn't necessarily mean you're lonely, and being alone doesn't mean you're just being lonely. You are in control of how you feel and how you perceive your circumstances. How do you plan to create your own quiet haven in the coming week? Finding the strength to harness the power of solitude and overcome feelings of loneliness is a transformative journey. Throughout history, great minds, from Stoic philosophers to thinkers like Henry David Thoreau, have found solitude to be a path to self-discovery and excellence. Let's explore the benefits of this time for yourself and how Stoic philosophy equips us to navigate this complex emotion. Solitude, when cultivated intentionally, is a fertile ground for growth and well-being, offering significant benefits. Alone. Time promotes stress reduction, improves emotional regulation, and increases self-awareness. It provides a space for mindfulness, cultivating peace and mental clarity. Solitude creates the ideal environment for what Cal Newport calls deep work, focused, uninterrupted work. Away from distractions, the mind can focus intensely on complex tasks, resulting in high-quality output. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a Stoic, devoted part of his mornings to reflection and writing in his journal, Meditations. He knew that the discipline of stepping back from the many demands of empire to focus on one's thoughts and principles was essential to governing wisely. For you, this might mean waking up 30 minutes early to work on an important project without interruption, or setting aside time at the end of the day to organize your thoughts. The virtue of prudence guides us to create conditions that are conducive to mental clarity and effective action. Seneca, another prominent Stoic, emphasized the importance of inner withdrawal. He argued that we need moments to retreat and examine our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by external turmoil. When feeling overwhelmed by an argument at work or troubling news, rather than reacting impulsively, a Stoic would take a break. This could be a short, quiet walk, a moment to close your eyes and breathe deeply, or even a brief visualization exercise. By disconnecting from sources of stress and focusing on the present moment, you exercise the virtue of temperance and regain control over your emotions. Solitude nurtures creativity, allowing the mind to wander freely and foster new ideas. It is in silence that the mind frees itself from conventional thinking and explores uncharted territories. Imagine that you are an artist, a writer, or even someone seeking innovative solutions to a problem. Instead of forcing ideas, a Stoic would seek out time for contemplation. You might sit in a park without your cell phone, or simply stare out the window for a few minutes. By allowing your mind to wander without the pressure of external stimuli, you create space for insights to emerge. Epictetus would say that you are exercising reason in a way that allows your mind to dance freely, uncovering new perspectives. Time alone provides opportunities for introspection and understanding of one's own thoughts, feelings, and values, aiding in the decision-making process. You are faced with an important decision, such as changing careers. Rather than seeking endless advice or being influenced by the expectations of others, a Stoic would engage in a period of self-discovery. This might involve journaling about your fears and aspirations, reflecting on your core values, or meditating on the implications of each choice. By eliminating external influences and focusing on your inner voice and reason, you make decisions that are more aligned with your virtue and life purpose. Incorporating solitude into a busy schedule requires intentionality. It's not a luxury, but a necessity for your peace of mind. Wake up an hour earlier and practice quiet meditation. The calm of the early morning provides a peaceful start to your day. Start by setting aside short periods of solitude and gradually increase the duration. Before the world starts bombarding you with demands, use this time to center yourself. Sit quietly, observe your breathing, and remind yourself of the cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, temperance. Think about how you can apply them to your day. This not only calms your mind, but also prepares you to face challenges with equanimity. No matter what happens, find a quiet place to eat lunch alone, a park, a quiet cafe, or even your car. Use this time to disconnect from work and enjoy your meal in peace. Instead of giving in to the office chatter or distractions of your phone, use lunch as a time to check in with yourself. Savor your food mindfully, noticing its flavors and textures. Reflect on your morning, evaluating your actions rationally and without excessive judgment. This is a way to practice temperance and self-discipline, transforming a break into a moment of mental rejuvenation. After dinner, take a walk by yourself, leaving your phone at home. Take the opportunity to reflect on your day, plan for the next one, or simply enjoy the scenery. This walk is an opportunity to practice gratitude for the little things, the breeze, the stars, the silence, and to take stock of your day, a Stoic practice. Ask yourself, where did I act wisely today? Where could I have acted better? This is not an exercise in guilt, but in self-improvement. By reflecting on your challenges and successes, you strengthen your ability to act virtuously in the future. Set aside a specific time each day for solitude. Use this time to engage in activities that allow you to reflect and relax, such as reading, writing, or listening to music. Treat this time as a sacred commitment to yourself. Turn off notifications. Let your family know that you will be unavailable. Use this time to read philosophical texts, write in your journal, as Marcus Aurelius did, or simply sit in silence, observing your thoughts. This is an act of self-care and self-discipline that strengthens your ability to find inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. If possible, dedicate some of your weekends to solitude, whether it's a solo walk in nature, a visit to a museum by yourself, or simply enjoying your own company at home. These extended retreats are opportunities for deep self-discovery. By completely removing yourself from the demands of everyday life, you can re-evaluate your priorities, strengthen your resilience, and reaffirm your values. It is an investment in your inner freedom, in your ability to be whole in yourself, even without the presence of others. Solitude, while beneficial, can be uncomfortable at first. Feelings of loneliness may set in, or you may struggle with silence. However, these challenges can be overcome with a Stoic mindset. Engage in activities that you enjoy and that allow you to reflect, such as reading, painting, gardening, or observing nature. The virtue of perseverance is key here. Don't be discouraged if the first few moments of solitude feel empty or uncomfortable. Start with 5 minutes, then 10, and so on. Recognize that it is a practice, and that mastery will come with time and persistence. Solitude doesn't have to be passive. By engaging in an activity you love that requires your full attention, you can transform your alone time into an enriching experience. This exercises the virtue of temperance by focusing on a constructive pastime, and wisdom by recognizing the value of self-care. Nothing, to my mind, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop right where he is and spend some time in his own company. Seneca the Younger, the Stoics, believed that you have everything you need within you at any given moment. Solitude, while a universal experience, offers a tremendous opportunity to get to know yourself better and reconnect with what truly matters to you. Solitude takes a toll on us, but how we deal with it varies. Some people give in to it, falling into despair. It's easy to blame the world, but the Stoics remind us of the dichotomy of control. Some things are within our control and some are not. The things within our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, all that are our own actions. The things not within our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in a word, all that are not our actions. Epictetus. This means that while we cannot control whether we feel lonely, we can control our response to that feeling. We can choose to use loneliness as a catalyst for self-improvement. The ancient Greeks had the word eremia for solitude, a state of loneliness that the Stoics learned to limit its negative influence on our peace of mind. The Stoic approach to loneliness, based on the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, does not offer a magic bullet. but it does equip us with tools to understand and navigate this complex emotion. This isn't about avoiding social interactions. After all, we are social animals and need company, friends and community. But learning to be comfortable in your own company is necessary for a resilient life. The person you are with 100% of the time is yourself. Being uncomfortable in your own company not only makes it harder to be alone, it also makes us dependent on external distractions, phones, TV, other people, sapping our peace of mind. By embracing intentional solitude, you not only empower yourself against feelings of loneliness, but you also unlock immense potential for self-awareness, creativity, and inner resilience. The quest for strength to harness the power of solitude and overcome feelings of loneliness is an essential journey for the Stoic mind. Great thinkers, from ancient philosophers to more recent minds, have recognized the inestimable value of being alone. Let's dive into their words and discover how to apply Stoic wisdom in our daily lives. Spending time alone, consciously and purposefully, offers a wealth of benefits that Stoicism teaches us to value.
The Virtual Books Publishing team thanks for your visit. If you liked our channel, please subscribe and share.